Hello and welcome to the Sports Join. This is Kushag here with you. We've got our panel back. It seems like it's been ages since we've had this football pod, and we've missed out on it because of so much cricket that's been happening. We've been covering badminton as well. Soon we'll try to bring in the hockey performances and Kabaddi League as well, which is going to come your way, guys. So do keep it locked to the Sports Join. But talking football, it's been an eventful past week and a half in the Premier League. We've got some new managers there, coming into the league. Frank Lampard unfortunately lost his job, was sacked by Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel has taken over as his replacement and
on
signed an
Memorial
18
Day.
month 18-month contract. And in his very first match in charge at the Bridge, he got a nil-all draw versus Wolves. Uh, Talking about Manchester City, they won the 11th match in a row. They absolutely
Yeah.
thrashed West Brom 5-0 away at the Hawthorns. Manchester United with an insipid, honestly, a very typical Manchester United performance, doing everything that they could to build momentum and then absolutely pissing it all away right at the end. Sheffield United were running out well-deserved victors at Old Trafford, winning 2-1. What is funny is the very fact that Sheffield United have scored goals away from home and also have scored goals after conceding as well in matches has only come against Manchester United this season. Out of the I think out of the 13 goals that they scored in the Premier League, four of them have come against Manchester United. So clearly, United are their favourite opponents to play. Congratulations to Sheffield. Let's see if this can bring about a turnaround in what has been a quite dreadful season for them. Arsenal continue to keep building on the Premier League momentum. Unfortunately for them, they lost out in the FA Cup, which I'm sure the fans must be extremely irritated with, considering how many times they won the trophy. And it's always nice to be in the latter stages of a major trophy. So Arsenal would be slightly disappointed there with Southampton, but a very good performance in the league to beat a very resilient Southampton team. I felt Cedric Suarez was on fire, that night, and of course Bukayo Saka, and also Emil
Saka
Smith
Laka.
Rowe.
It was
Saka
Saka
Laka
Laka Boom
actually, yeah.
Boom.
Lacazette missed a few chances. I was a little irritated with him then. He did score the goal right at the death, but yeah,
Mm.
Emil Smith Rowe and Bukayo Saka deserve as much praise is given to them is less, because I feel they deserve a hell of a lot of praise. Both of them have actually changed the face of this Arsenal team. So I don't think there's any other place that we can start at. We'll start with you, Vijay. Uh, arguably your greatest ever player. I think Gianfranco Zola would like to contest that claim with Frank Lampard, maybe a couple of others in the past as well. But you're definitely a top goal scorer of all time. Was sacked by the club. For me personally, I don't think it will be right on our behalf to feel sorry for him. I'm pretty sure the kind of character Frank Lampard is, he wouldn't want us to feel sorry for him. He would just take it on the chin, and with his coaching staff, with Jody Morris and company, he would like to just move on to hopefully better and bigger. Bigger is obviously very difficult for him now, but hopefully better things in terms of results and prospects going ahead in the future. But just my question to you is, if you're working for Roman Abramovich, don't you always have a foot outside the door anyway, right? Like, you're expecting the sack regardless of whatever the circumstances are.
Yeah, fair enough, Kushagar. First of all, I get to wear the jersey of my ex-manager. How many times do I probably get to say that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that's what it meant. That's what Frank Lampard means to the club. It's that special bond. And Chelsea aren't an experimenting type of club, as current evidence would say. But that experiment was one experiment of hope, and it really is a very somber mood for me, my fellow fans, and I think the club overall, that we had to sack one of our club legends, arguably one of the most important players that have played for us. um, what hurts the most is, like you said, our expectations of always having one foot out the door. I think that's um, I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I think when you come to Chelsea, you have to expect that you're going to be competitive, right? And I don't even say winning for trophies. I just mean competitive. And I think for a very long time, I think maybe since Antonio Conte's first season, we haven't seen that competitive team. Even the FA Cup that he won afterwards, it didn't seem like we were the deserving victors of that trophy. And now I think what with the investment Chelsea have made, we have a squad that is capable of being competitive. And Frank Lampard got most of his leeway last year, and it just didn't seem like, at least for the last whole month. I mean, you rewind the clock back to December 1st, and we're here top of the table, and I'm talking about how we outran Marco Bielsa's team. But in 1 month, it just seemed like uh, I don't know. I think all top teams go through a downturn slump, but it's what seemed like there was no improvement continually for, let's say, 40 to 50, 40 days, I can say. Um, and when a developing squad is with a developing manager and nothing is developing for a very long time, one of those things have to change. And I'm sorry to say that, unfortunately, it was Frank Lampard's managerial career at Chelsea. But from inside information that I did reading was the fact that Chelsea kind of expected this to happen. They were waiting for Frank's downturn slump because he was never the long-term vision, is what the articles I've read on the Athletic have actually said. That the chances of him actually, uh, carrying out future with this squad was very low, which is what actually leaves a bad taste in my mouth because when I think throughout this podcast, I've talked about this being that Chelsea's experimenting. This is a hopeful season. What if this works? It's kind of sad that the club never actually thought of it that way, and we were just trying to get the fan base on board during a difficult time, which happened. But you know, we all like to believe that Biden is Obama, but hey, he's not.
Well,
Oh
he
God.
really isn't. And as far as this is concerned, the only gripe I might have with the Chelsea admin or Chelsea board is I felt they sort of, I mean these are big words to say. I felt they sort of almost betrayed you guys in a sense that they led you down a path wherein they had the fans believing that this time it will be different. That this time they will try to build a team which is Chelsea, which represents Chelsea, and which is something that the fans can be proud of. For
Yeah.
me, if you hire someone like Frank Lampard, you've got to expect that it's a 3 to 4 year project. It's not a one and done thing, right? And also, surely Frank Lampard did not ask for these like 11, 12, 13, 14, God knows how many players that you signed. It's almost impossible to integrate all of them in a squad in a season,
That too in a season,
especially,
right?
and that too this season of all seasons, right? This ridiculous season that you're having this year. The players can't settle mentally, the players can't settle physically, emotionally, and everything. We were talking about this on the Cricket Live as well. The English cricket team that's coming, they're sending a lot of part of their squad back in sections back to England, so just so that they can get a mental break from the bio bubbles that they're traveling in. Just imagine what is happening to these footballers in that sense, right? Because these footballers have come into a new league. It's a completely different way of living, completely different way of playing football. And in the end, I felt Frank Lampard was let down by some of the signings that was made by the club. And they spent over 120, 130 million pounds on
Yeah.
the likes of Havertz and Werner. That surely is more valuable than a 5 million, 7 million payoff that they had to make for Frank Lampard. So,
Yeah.
in that sense, this probably was always coming. Just a word on Thomas
Kushagra,
Tuchel. I know.
There
Yeah.
were also rumors. I don't know how much of it is true. It was not just the performance on the pitch; it was also that he was constantly demanding the signing of Declan Rice. Also, that he had other fallouts with the board in terms of how the long-term future was going to be. The board didn't trust,
The treatment of Kepa, the treatment of
Yes.
Rudiger.
Also,
Yes.
the board wasn't too enthusiastic about signing an 80 million player who they had left six years ago. So a lot of things that on the background that probably have happened, and that is one of the reasons why he got sacked. I feel Chelsea fans would be better suited to answer this question, but in any case, I felt it was a little unfair on Frank. I think this is pretty similar to the situation what Ole faced. I think mid last season, and the board stuck by him thankfully, and he's done pretty well. And especially when you have so many new players playing in a new league, the likes of GH, the like of Havertz, Werner, etc., who are going to be key players in the future. It takes time to adjust to this new surroundings, and the best of players have taken their time. You used to say, right? Cristiano got a lot of stick initially as well when he came to the Premier League. So it takes time for players. I think it takes time for managers to integrate such really good players into a team. It's really unfortunate that Lampard got the sack. And, anyway, Tuchel coming is a good one, but still, I feel Lampard shouldn't have got the sack, honestly.
If
Yeah,
I may add, I also think it never really felt like a Chelsea managerial appointment from the start. I mean, Chelsea have never been one of those clubs who go down memory lane and who give more weightage to
सेंटिमेंट की तो बात ही नहीं है
sentiment.
यार.
Exactly, they're not very sentimental.
Dramatic.
Ask any Roman is like mm, thank wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of thing. So it always felt like it was coming. I kind of expected it to happen last year at a certain point when you guys had a similar trajectory. You started off very brightly and then you fell off near
Yeah,
December and January. But I expected it more last year. This year, I did not expect him to just walk after a win in the FA Cup. I thought maybe it would take something really drastic,
yeah,
maybe the next big game that's coming, or maybe the Champions League, the Champions League knockout
yeah.
stages and something like that. So sad to see it end. I hope it's not something that happens to the other ex-player managers that are currently in the league. And
He's the third consecutive Chelsea manager to be sacked after a win. Obviously, Conte won the FA Cup, got sacked. Sarri
yeah,
won the
Sarri won
Europa
the
League, got
Europa League
sacked,
also.
and now this guy won an FA Cup game and
Well,
got
the
sacked.
levels have been going down only.
Yeah, yeah, an FA Cup, Europa League, and then FA Cup fixture. So, but yeah, just I guess just a brief word on Tuchel is what I had. Chelsea, I don't know if they've really thought this appointment through either. Thomas Tuchel has fallen out with the board everywhere that he's been. Thomas
Yeah.
Tuchel ended up playing the most boring ass football I've ever seen PSG play. I think in the 3 or 4 weeks of Mauricio Pochettino, they played way more interesting football than they ever did under Thomas Tuchel. And Thomas Tuchel was a guy who abandoned his own philosophy to placate players like Neymar, Mbappe, and all the other likes of I guess Mauro Icardi and all the others, right? He fell out with Edinson Cavani, fell out with players who actually made his
Silva.
teams fine, Thiago Silva. So I don't know what the exact thinking is behind hiring Thomas Tuchel, but all the best to him. I feel like Chelsea could have probably stuck it out with Frank Lampard and maybe selected his replacement in the meanwhile, or just try to lure in someone like Nagelsmann who can get the best out of Werner, even for that matter, Havertz being a fellow countryman, and then maybe look at making some, maybe getting Dio Upamecano with him, right, to Chelsea somehow, trying to recover what the issues were at the back. But yeah,
I think
I guess
you're missing the pipe for your pipe dream right now, but okay, carry on.
all right. I'm just trying to
He
think
says all of
logically here,
that things he doesn't want any of that to come true. Don't worry. Yeah.
but yeah. All right. We'll move on from Chelsea. We'll move on. We'll come to you, Anurag, since you've been quietly biding your time. I am pretty sure you were awake last night watching the fantabulous performance of Manchester United, wherein not for a moment in the 90 plus minutes, 90 plus 4, 90 plus 5, whatever it was, minutes, did Manchester United even ever look like that they had a foothold in the game, that they were ever going to win that match. Ole Solskjaer said something very quite poignant when he was asked, "Does this team remind you of a title-winning squad because you played in so many different title-winning squads in the post-match press conference after Liverpool?" And he said,
I,
"Come back
I
to
said
me
the same
after."
thing. Okay, I said the same thing this season.
Yeah, you asked it. Yep.
Yeah. He said, come back to me after the Sheffield result. We
Yeah.
really know the mentality of these boys. And now we do know the mentality of these boys. United
Yeah.
will be lucky to finish fourth, is what I've always said from the beginning of the season. The manager was not back. The manager is not back yet again. And we saw the defensive frailties conceding from a corner. Literally, it was a copybook goal that they conceded once again from Sheffield. I remember United
Yeah.
conceded from Sheffield, United conceded from Southampton.
Yeah.
United conceded so many different goals from corners, and they continue to concede yesterday. And also, I don't want to make a hash out of it, but uh, the the push on De Gea that was not given, and the non-existent push on Ramsdale that was given.
Yeah.
Where is the VAR
Yeah.
consistency there? But I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to make an excuse out of it because United, frankly, didn't even deserve the entrance fee of that particular match, let alone any points that they could have garnered from
Those
that match.
two
So,
particular
Anurag, your
decisions,
take.
those two particular decisions were basically overcorrections of
Yeah.
Yeah, बहुत ही stupidity नहीं था. I mean, I'll come to you, Sulak, for your opinion a little bit right after Anurag. But for me, I felt like I did not understand what the referee was playing at. If De Gea was not fouled there, how the hell was Ramsdale fouled there? Because Billy Sharp is literally going in like this at De Gea's back, and I don't understand why the fuck does De Gea not complain, man? Like, I don't get it. If you raise to a bit of a hullabaloo, the bar comes under pressure, and bar could not even get a check done, and the man had already blown his whistle for a kickoff. Yeah, Anurag.
Hey, you know what was even more surprising since yesterday? Not surprising, actually. I think anyone would be stupid to say they were surprised by the reaction of the fans. Uh,
Ah,
yeah, I,
don't even,
my
don't even.
God, man. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm not even getting
Thank
to the
God.
Tuanzebe thing.
Thank
Their
God.
PE teacher,
Thank God I am not.
Tuanzebe,
Thank,
Martial, Paul
yeah.
Pogba, all racially abused again last night.
Yeah.
My God.
That's so unfortunate, right? Like
Yeah,
people don't even understand
Just,
what it is to
I'm
be
not
racist.
aware. Was this online abuse or
Yeah,
like
It's
Twitter,
online.
yes,
Twitter and
online.
Insta.
Oh,
Twitter and Instagram.
Tuanzebe had quit Twitter. Yeah, for
Yeah,
at least
Tuanzebe is
partially.
quit his Twitter
So
because
again,
of
see
the.
one thing. I
It
don't
was a
understand.
deflected goal that went off of Tuanzebe's back. He cannot really do much. Oliver has been given all the space in the world.
Uh,
But yeah, whatever.
just picture this image. Uh, I am the defender. Piche goal hai idhar. There is a cross coming in from this side. I realize the ball is going behind me. I went a little too forward. I've stuck my hip out very weirdly. The ball hits my bum and goes into the goal. I think that still would be a better goal to concede than what United conceded, the second goal yesterday. I think that is the worst goal we've conceded in the whole season. And in a
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
long time,
True.
it was seven
Bro,
mistakes, seven, eight
yeah.
mistakes that led to one goal, starting from Martial leaving the ball
Martial.
and to 100 other players not even closing in. Like, and you remember Harry Maguire, like, I don't know where he was running to David De Gea because of which he couldn't clear the ball properly. Harry Maguire always has a role in all of this, doesn't he? So this is why he gets so
the
frustrating.
goal as
But he
well.
did score. He did score
The
a
goal
good
as well.
header yesterday.
He
But
did.
that's
Yeah,
that that speaks volumes about the team, isn't it? You score a
yeah.
header within 5 minutes, you go back and concede a stupid ass goal.
Harry Maguire connects 1,000 headers in a game and he scores once every 40 games. So you do the math.
Once a
That
season.
that
This is him done.
yeah, that's it. Last season I don't know, like of all places he chose Stamford Bridge
Chelsea.
last time.
Yeah.
Vijay,
Yeah.
you should be ashamed of it. Like that is legit ashamed. I
I
mean,
mean,
He's
yeah,
numb,
it's
brother.
okay.
He
So
doesn't care.
again, yesterday's performance was more about I think I was
The
actually
lack
going to
of it.
start with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments after that Liverpool game. Let's see what happens after this game if they show the character or not. And for the manager to say that and the players to pull off something like
Yeah.
this is, oh God,
It's
this is like the
hilarious
worst thing
actually.
that you could
It's
think
pretty
of.
hilarious to be honest,
It's not hilarious. It's I don't know by any chance if it is hilarious. It is very awful and disappointing. It's like you've been dreaming for a while. Now the dream is over. You've woken up. You're still in the second position, which is great, and you're just 1 point off. City have a game in
hey,
hand. All of
I'm
that is
sorry,
fine.
guys. It's what's today's date? Jan 28th, 2021. Can
I
we
know.
stop giving value to these positions on this godforsaken table? Because it's a
It's all
horrible
right.
table.
We
Arsenal
don't get
and
we
Chelsea
don't get to that
are
side. We don't get to that side of the table in January. Vijay, please give it to us. It's
what?
been a while.
Oh, okay. Sympathy wise, okay, take it. I mean,
Yeah,
Harry
that's
Maguire
it. I
scored.
have nothing else. I
Go
have
for it.
nothing else. I see again, as Kushagri said, and that even you remember you asked where is the excitement of being in the top at the top of the table? Why didn't we react? Because in a
We
sense
know
we
this
were
is, yeah.
And none
hoping
of
for
those
this kind
answers
of a
came,
day to not
right?
come. Yeah, this sort of
Hmm.
uh, was expected, and that happened, and it happened in the worst possible way against a 20th place side. That is like the worst thing that you could do.
Yeah.
And thankfully, Liverpool don't have much to banter about. Otherwise, I think I would have been off my friend circles for a few days because they also lost to Burnley. So
Yeah.
fine, I think that worked out well for me. But again,
Yeah.
this is the worst time to play Arsenal. Like, you couldn't have imagined a worse time. And
No,
Bro,
no.
I'm
I
telling you,
think
United
I
will
can
lose
imagine a
again.
worse time
There's
to play
never a
Arsenal.
worse
last time Vijay used that butt clenching analogy to describe how Arsenal are going to suffocate you to death. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that's coming again.
That's
Look at
coming this
look at
weekend.
look at Sulaksha's smile, right? Like he's just definitely waiting. Yeah, Man United
Oh,
aa raha hai. Aao.
Arey,
But
time.
to
we're
be
planning to watch the match together, and
Yeah.
this is gonna be, it's not gonna be fun.
Kushagra, to
Anyway,
So
be
Pratnesh,
honest,
coming to you, your
yeah,
reaction after yesterday, because we've not done a Sound of Manchester video, so this will be your
it's
first reaction
I
yeah.
after that
wonder
wonderful.
why. I
No,
No,
wonder
we're
we are
doing
doing
one.
it
We're doing.
tomorrow.
Oh,
We're doing one
see,
tomorrow.
I don't
So
know. I don't know when
why?
this goes live, but on the 29th of January at 12 p.m. IST is when SOM goes live. So we're
yeah,
not shirking away from our duties there.
yeah.
Coming back to you, Pratnesh.
Like the players.
Like the players,
My,
yes.
to be honest, my initial reaction was not one of shock because I knew this was coming sometime. This wasn't about Sheffield, right? It just didn't feel like.
Your WhatsApp messages speak to the statement otherwise.
Yeah,
Okay.
see,
Anyone else,
I
I'll
took
take you, Prathamesh, not
I took
you.
Gary Neville. I take Gary Neville a bit too
You
seriously
have bad
sometimes.
juju on your head. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is like
I
Vijay.
mentioned it. I
Yeah.
mentioned the bad
Yeah,
juju.
yeah, he did mention that.
This is
Oh God.
exactly, yeah, this is exactly. But okay यार, मतलब बहुत सालों बाद थोड़ा उम्मीद है तो you can celebrate, banter out it a little bit. It's okay, you always have those ups and downs, so you might as well take that in stride. But yesterday's performance is one not of shock, but I don't know. I just didn't feel anything after the game, to be honest, Kushagra, because Harry Maguire scored a header. I didn't feel anything. We considered that goal from Oliver Burke. I didn't feel anything. The whole situation where Maguire, Telles, De Gea couldn't clear that ball was actually comical, and I was actually laughing at that thing because I didn't understand how professional footballers were scared to concede a corner, which is why they tried that whole hilarious clearance in the first place. Had De Gea not been scared to concede a corner and concede of that set play, he would have just put that ball out for a corner, or maybe a Maguire would have done it. But they were so scared of corners yesterday that he didn't want to give away corners. Throw in ja raha hai, jane do, shot ja raha hai, jane do. But we won't give a corner. So that was the whole level of you could say panic in the United defense, which I think Ole definitely has to introspect what the whole fiasco was. I think after yesterday, one thing that you could expect as a United fan, and that would come from this team, if it didn't come 2 years ago, 3 years ago, is that they would fight back. And you say it's the worst time to play Arsenal. I think it's the best time to play Arsenal because this is one of those games which brings out that extra bit in players. Players like Rashford, Greenwood,
Pratnesh,
Robin.
if I could
Just
stop you
say
there,
no to that. Yeah.
please. No, I'm not saying no to that. I'm just saying please hold the Arsenal United match ka
Yeah,
discussion
yeah, yeah. Yes, I will.
for our records
Yes,
later down the line, because
yeah,
we'll try to get
yeah.
them in.
if I
All
These
that
may,
guys.
all that I
uh,
wanted to say is this is the best time because there are too many Mancunians in this team, right? So you have that little emotional connect. The players themselves have that cohesiveness now. So I feel it may be optimistic,
I feel
but
even
it feels a good time.
if they weren't from Manchester, just play for the goddamn pride of yourself. You were just
Yeah,
absolutely pathetically shit last night. I mean, I'm not mincing words. They were crap.
yeah.
They
They
did
were
not as I
bad.
said, they did not deserve the entrance fee, let alone the match day payments that they must have gotten. So forget them. I mean, they've got no leg to stand last point, Pratmesh, as you said, is yourself, and as Anurag also referred to it. If the manager is going out and laying out a challenge for you, and if you stumble at the first hurdle of a 100 meter hurdle race, and then keep stumbling at every hurdle, what is one going to say? It's just going to be an Adam Sandler movie. That's what it is, right? You're going to laugh at the water boy
Hey,
in the
I
end
take
scene, feel
offense
sorry
at
if
for
that.
him.
I
Adam
may add
Sandler
a
movies are awesome.
last remark about this fixture. So for the last 6 7 weeks, I've been awake. I've joined a new job, so I get up early mornings. But I've been awake every night, hoping to watch United lose. I played against
Bastard!
Liverpool,
What a
played against
bastard!
the first time I decide, fuck this, it's Sheffield, I'm sleeping. And this is the match that I miss. So I'm very upset about
you,
that.
You
Please
should
keep
keep
watching
watching,
United
Sulaksh.
matches,
Please keep
Sulaksh. I think
watching.
you not
Yes.
watching has impacted.
Yes. Please
And
keep watching.
another thing, I think, to sum it up, the last goal that you guys were saying, the second goal that you conceded, I've watched it many times. I don't know if you think the same, but it kind of reminds me of that goal that Aston Villa scored against us when Jack Grealish was just waiting with the ball
Yeah,
against,
Yeah.
yeah.
because that's something the Sheffield had the ball for way too long before they
Yeah.
actually got the shot, and they tried the same move four times. They went to the
No
right, one
closing in,
came in,
yeah.
went to the right, ball came in finally. So that's something I realized.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely spot on, Sulaksh. Absolutely spot on. And going from a team which is absolutely dog shit last night to a team which showed so much spirit to come back, at least in that game against Southampton, and also in Emil Smith Rowe and Bukayo Saka. For me, you've got two of the top five, top six youngsters in the Premier League as well. So coming back to Arsenal, I know it must have been disappointing to see your boys lose at St Mary's in the FA Cup. But all in all, I think you would gladly take a loss in the FA Cup and a victory in the Premier League, or are you still a little bitter about that FA Cup?
I think in the grand scheme of things, you would take a three-pointer versus going through to the fifth round of the FA Cup. But
Yeah.
it hurts because deep down, as an Arsenal fan, I know that there's not a lot that's left for us in the league. I mean,
Yeah.
we're fighting for sixth. We're not fighting for fourth right now. So we're fighting for the automatic qualification for the Europa League, and that we could have managed like last year by winning a
Could
trophy.
Europa League be a competition Arteta focuses on?
I don't think so. It depends on how this last week of the first week of February goes, because we
Yeah.
have some
Now
tough
that they
games
do,
going
now that
on.
you guys don't have FA Cup and Europa is like a
The money
direct
Yeah.
has
ticket
to come, right?
Direct
Champions League,
qualification.
It's a very big
makes more sense,
gamble.
doesn't
I
it?
mean, I understand the you
It's a
know
gamble that needs brave managers, by the way,
yeah.
Anurag. So
It's not even about brave managers. I mean,
It's
beating
9 games. It's
beating
nine added games if
Basel,
you reach the final. If
beating
you
That's a
reach
bit
the
too much of
final,
a
it's
stretch.
random
nine
teams
additional
under
games.
Mourinho and playing Atletico and playing the teams of that
yeah.
caliber is very different, I would say, because the Europa League has changed a lot in the last few
Yeah.
years, and that's not something to rely on. But coming back to the game, I think
United are in it.
after the FA Cup match, I was disappointed. I for one was really pissed because I could not understand why Arteta, why he decided to rest so many players when we have so little to play for in the season. And the FA Cup, you'd think, is something that he would take more seriously because he's he made a habit of
That saved his job last season, to be
saved his
honest.
job last season, gave him a lifeline this season, in fact. So I think the performance day for yesterday was fantastic, because if you look at it from the point of view of an Arsenal fan, 58 seconds Lacazette through one-on-one
Oh,
misses
how does he miss that,
misses
man? How
misses
does
a
he miss
chance
that?
that I personally would not even being cocky would score it 9 times out of 10. I would score that. So either Lacazette, it was his unlucky 10th, or it was just something about him, not being confident enough.
Is
And
it's Sulak, just a question. Is Lacazette also one of those strikers who's way better when it's an instinctive finish as compared to when he has that time?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
it does seem that way. Yeah.
he has that issue with being afforded a lot of time, because we've seen it so many times last year against Liverpool, this year against Liverpool, this year against Tottenham. So many games where Lacazette has had either a one-on-one situation with the
He's
last defender or a one-on-one situation with the keeper, and he's just not he's taken his sweet time and then decided on the exact opposite thing that he should be doing. 2 minutes later, we concede a goal, a trademark Southampton goal. Set piece comes in from Ward-Prowse and it's finished beautifully. I think Leno could have done a little better. It was shot at him very fast, and it was same old Arsenal. It was me on my bed preparing to call it a night, switching off my iPad, and but I think the thing that changed was right after kickoff. I could see there was something different. I mean, right after kickoff, Saka picked up the ball and he went on a run on the right wing, and it showed some intent about how we're not just here to lie down for the game.
Yeah.
Massive props to Arteta. I have not been his biggest fan in the last. I've been AWOL for the last 2 months. So I've not been here also a lot, and the meltdown that happened end of November, whole of December, wasn't pretty to watch. It was
Yeah.
sometimes to look at the team that you love and see that they're not even putting in a shift, let alone that shift getting you any
Yeah.
results. I think that the Southampton win and the recent tick up in form is mostly because Arteta fell into a right formation and fell into the right bunch of players. I am definitely giving him credits. I'm not saying it's something that's come out of luck, but it wasn't his first choice. He was kind of, his hand was forced when he played Emil Smith Rowe in that match against Chelsea, which I have Vijay to thank for, because I think we just exchanged some jujus when these guys paid us a bit, and it's been a complete turnover in fortune since then. And I think Arteta should, I mean, he should really take the credit for the Southampton victory. He would probably be saying the thing that everyone on AFT was saying, where it's worth it if we win the game in the Premier League. And if we hadn't won the game, a lot of questions would have been arising. But I think overall, the youngsters are saving Arteta his reputation, his job, and
Yeah.
whatever that the board has not been able to provide from outside has, luckily we've been finding bits and pieces of it here and there. Bukayo Saka, brilliant. Emil Smith Rowe, wonderful. He was very disappointing in the midweek, and I mean, it was very disappointing to see that he wasn't playing in the midweek. And Willian, who came in on his place, I have no words for Willian. I'm just
What a
What
signing,
is
though.
he? What is he?
I
I
do not
mean,
understand. I mean, it's not, at this point he should just be playing for the sake of the memes, for the sake of
is he
finishing.
just collecting a paycheck now?
I don't know. He's
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I don't know what they've done to him. I don't know if they've sent us a replica, and like in Rick and Morty, the real villain is out exploring the universe, and this villain from another dimension is here and he's screwing things up. But apart from that, I think the team is getting some good momentum, and
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to the game against United, because I know there will be a performance for us. I'm not confident of a win, but I'm not afraid of a loss like I was the last time we played this, like earlier this season, which was
He
surprising. So
still managed to win.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
I don't get the reverse surprise this time. But
Yeah.
Let's see.
overall, happy with the performance.
Kushagra still
I
want to
mean,
know
just
what kind of relationship do Arsenal have with Real Madrid, because they seem to get all.
no, that's where I was
Yeah,
coming. That's where I was coming, Pratnesh. Sulaksh, your thoughts on Martin Odegaard signing for Arsenal on loan? I
I
think it's
think
a very good signing. And
like
also,
I
just for
said.
our viewers, Mesut Ozil is finally left London.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's Mesut Ozil has left 3 days ago. He's attended his first training session. Surprise, surprise, he wasn't available for selection in his first match because he was injured. So, I mean, that's something that's going to be happening a lot. And I think with Martin Odegaard, it's a really decent signing. It's much better than Dennis Suarez, and I would even say Danny Ceballos, because the potential of the player is very different. We've gotten one MO and sent out another MO. So I think I'm very
It's just a
excited.
different way of writing the O, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a different character with the strike in the middle. But I like Odegaard. I mean, all our footballing lives, it seems like he's been here forever and he's still 22. I remember I was a little kid when he was 15 and he signed, and the wonder and the amazement at
Yeah.
how this guy is still. And I'm happy that 7 years down the line, he's not just washed up. He's coming playing for my club, hoping to see the best of him. Do not think he's gonna start against United, and I do not think that he's gonna settle in the way that everyone hopes he does. But I hope that he proves me wrong.
So is
Yeah,
he like a
he's one of the
box to
most sought
box?
after.
Is he like
Sorry?
a box to box, or
No,
is
no,
he
no.
a
So no,
cam?
Anurag,
What is he?
he is more of your the final third carrier. So he will pick up the ball from the center
He's
circle
an
and he will
eight.
carry the
Anurag
ball.
is an eight.
He is
Yeah.
your
More of an eight.
Aaron Ramsey replacement, but left-footed and little less industrious, but a little more skillful.
He
Alright,
scored
so
some
from
And
what I
goals for
also,
Sociedad. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah, he was the second best player in the La Liga last year behind Leo
yeah,
Messi.
he
And
had
stats,
around
performances,
19 goal involvements in the season. So that
yes,
was
19 goal involvements. And, in the XG as well, he should have had around 25 goal involvements if his teammates had finished better. So, and
Yeah.
also, big things were expected of him this season. His relationship with Zinedine Zidane has never been good. And that is primarily what has hampered
How
his
many
Real
players
Madrid
does
career,
Zidane have
because
back in his?
Real Madrid aren't really playing all that well that they can afford the likes of Odegaard going out on loan and stuff like that without him actually being given a chance. When he's shown
I
that in the La Liga, he's more than good enough to play for Real Madrid. But yeah,
I don't understand why Madrid have not really given him a shout. I mean, is it Madrid and MO players again? I mean, they just sent him out on loan,
yeah.
and the good part is that there's no buy on clause attached to the deal. And if he surprisingly, if he does do well for us, then that will be even worse
He'll go
for
back. But
what it is.
if Zizou is still the manager, I don't really see what's the point of going
It's
back.
it's football, man. You
Yeah.
never know. 6 months later, he might be coming back as a hero, and
Yeah,
Zizou
that's
might
also true.
not be
That's also
there
true.
because the season
Yeah.
that Madrid are having. A last point I'd like to add is special shout out to Cedric. Definitely, just last 10 seconds. Cedric was immense. He played in the left back position. It was not his natural position. After having a horrible game at right back just 4 days ago against the same team.
Yeah.
So I think Cedric was immense. That ball he put into Saka, the pre-assist as we call it, was fabulous. He was defensively awesome, and I think that he should replace Bellerin as our first choice right back as soon as possible.
We've been talking on Ainsley Maitland-Niles being the better choice. Zach Steffen is also the better choice. I mean, how many better choices over Hector Bellerin do you have, and you guys still keep playing Hector Bellerin? I don't get this.
Fucking
Like,
planter
it's a
fashion model.
conundrum I'll never solve. Yeah, I'll come to conundrums that could never be solved and conundrums that are being solved. I think it's a decent segue there. Manchester City recorded the 11th straight victory. Yeah, City. I know why Sulak is celebrating City because okay, fine. I'll get a little bit of hate for this, but if City wins, essentially everyone wins, right? No one cares. So yeah, as
Yeah.
Sulak just said it in a personal chat, City. So yes, of course.
They've
Coming to you,
conceded
Vijay.
4 goals since the start of December.
Wow, Ruben Diaz and John Stones have been the partnership of the last 3 months, 2 to 3 months, I think.
Yeah.
They do not. Ruben Diaz even came out with a very bold interview saying, "Forget goals. I hate conceding shots on target. So why do opponents even get shots? So that's the attitude that he carries when he's defending." But
Jose would
just a
love
brief
that.
word on City for you guys, especially from you, Vijay. How have you seen their progression over the last couple of months? I
Are
think November
they got
November Spurs was the last time they lost, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. When they went away to Spurs, and since then they've not lost a single match. I think they've only drawn a couple, I guess, at best. I think they drew against United. I'm struggling to remember if
I
there was
think
any other.
Leeds was another. Leeds was
For
another game.
Leeds was another. Yeah, I'm saying how ominous do you think this City form is looking to you, and do you think they are now the clear title favorites? Table or no table, position or no position. I know you've been a big proponent of forget these league positions, forget this nonsense. It's such a truncated, weird ass league. But still, right now at least they look like the best team in the league.
um yeah, for sure. I agree with that statement, but the fact of the matter is, I've been given Manchester City coverage by you on a lot of podcasts, and I keep saying they're going to win the next game. They're going to win the next game, and they
There's a
never.
reason I say it. I put you up for it because you pull them down. It's like Sulak's watching
And
United
I keep
games.
saying they are going to win it, and finally they are bloody doing it, and I just feel so happy right now. So
Vindicated.
yeah, and I think of all the teams throughout, who's having a fluctuating season or a form, they're the only ones that really look like they've solved their problems. You know that?
Yeah.
Whereas if Liverpool's with their injuries, Chelsea with their lack of plan, Arsenal being Arsenal, and United, the sine wave, which is again, I'm glad to say, is coming back down again, along with Prathamesh's comments on WhatsApp. But what I love about Manchester City is even when they were down, when they were like 11th, ninth, 8th, whatever, you never counted them out. And this is the reason, because we knew we would get to this point in the season where Guardiola's on top with the game in hand, with his team looking like a well-oiled machine. With Aguero having COVID, and I think all of us actually hit the nail directly in the earlier part of the season where we said there was too much of a dependency on De Bruyne for their creative output. Guardiola solved that wonderfully. So don't you guys think so? Like now there's a shared responsibility. You can see that's more visible in the team, and I think that's a solid defense. Plus that has gone a long way into making this come forward. So I'd like to hear your thoughts if you guys agree or disagree with that.
I'll come to you, Anurag. Then in that case, I was coming to you about City. Just your final few words. That if we will come to Sulaksh, and if Pratnesh's net is holding up as well, we'll get a couple of lines from him in as well. But how good do you think Man City are? How well do you think they've coped with whatever's been thrown at them now? Even the fact that they did not have De Bruyne doesn't seem to really impact them. We did talk about City's fixture list in January. It's incredibly tough in February. Let's not forget that City will literally need to beat everyone and anyone around them to continue on this run, which I really cannot see that happening. I can see them dropping points, maybe against Leicester, maybe against Everton, Liverpool. They play Spurs as well, and they still have to play United once this season. They still have to play Chelsea again this season. They still have to, of course, play almost everyone this season since 19 games gone. But still, at the halfway point, they're the best team, aren't they?
They definitely are. But if they go on to win all these fixtures that you've mentioned,
They deserve
I
to win the
think
league.
I think they are going to win the league because everyone else is going to drop a lot of points because it doesn't seem like there is, as Vijay rightly put, no one else has solved their problems and the problems are very palpable right now. Liverpool right now, I think it's just there's some sort of a mentality issue. They've suddenly like stopped scoring all of like how many have they scored in the last 4 games? Zero. It's been almost 500 minutes closely since they've scored a goal in the Premier League. So that'll run in their minds more than anything. Uh, I think maybe they'll clear it out. But City right now, I think one of the reasons why they've been successful is that defensive emphasis that they're putting in. Everyone is coming back to defend. All the you That's something that I haven't seen previously much in the past was their wingers contributing so much in the defense. When
Yeah,
Sane and Sterling were used to play, yes, their work rate was tremendous, but their defensive contribution was not as much as currently whoever is playing on the wings. They're coming back. They're trying to hold the opposition fullbacks or whoever is there at that point in time. So I think that defensive contribution has been spectacular. But again, uh, you look at that front four, front five. That is that bunch of players. That's the most lethal you can get us for counter attacks, and it is it's absolutely working very well for them. Uh, and Pep Guardiola, for a lot of people, including me, who've been like, he needs to be a little more wary of the opposition threats and everything. I think this season he's taken all of them very, very seriously, and to his credit, he's getting all the points that he deserves. So yeah, if City continue to do this, this is going to be very, very tough because if that team's put so much defensive emphasis, as we know, they've been spending so much money on the defense. It's like a wall constructed in front of the goal right now. There is no way through it. I mean, 4 goals since December, man. Yesterday we conceded two. It's so bad. So it's it,
not the same, not in the
not in the
same
same. I
conversation
know.
right
I
now.
just putting it out there. It's sad,
Yeah,
but again,
it's fantastic.
I'd rather see I'd rather see City win the league
I think
Whoa.
than that
Yeah,
other club.
I think almost every United fan would rather. They've got those 7 fans cheering for them anyway, right? So that's it. Okay, all right. Coming back to you, Silaksh, I think that's one of the reasons why you keep going on sit test, sit test, sit test. But I'm sure you must have been impressed by this turnaround by Pep's side. They're looking like somewhat like the season, not this team from last season, but the season before that and the many seasons before that as well. They're looking like a team which can pump other teams 5, 6, 7, and go on runs. And they've been on this run. And let's not forget, apart from Liverpool, who unfortunately have lost their spine to injuries, uh, you know, apart from Liverpool, City are the only team which have proven winners in their squad. They've
Yeah.
got proven Premier League winners in their squad, and these guys know how to win the league. So you think it could be another City title parade at the Eastlands or the Etihad?
Just before Sulak adds on, I think just a big shout out to Joao Cancelo. He's been fabulous.
Joao Cancelo, yes,
He's
Cancelo
been
Yeah.
is fantastic.
fabulous.
He's
The
one of the best.
auxiliary,
He's
the auxiliary left back or the auxiliary midfield, I don't know what to call him, but
Yeah,
whatever he does is brilliant.
Right.
So
he's been one of
I
the best fullbacks, not just in England but all over Europe
That
as
word,
well.
yeah.
I think I
Yeah,
understand when everyone told me when it was October, November, don't sleep on Pep, don't sleep on Pep, and we kind of gave him a little disrespect. I gave him a lot of disrespect, but I think in the end he's the one who's gonna come save my goose because I've been surrounded by Liverpool fans and United fans a lot of my life, and another year of either one of them winning a trophy, let alone the Premier League, is gonna be really hard. So I think City for me all the way. But
हम
coming
तो
to
डूबेंगे
City,
सनम, तुम्हें भी ले डूबेंगे.
yeah,
Yes.
see, as long as
Let's all cry in
होता है ना,
sorrow.
मैं नहीं, मेरे पास नहीं आ सकता तो किसी के पास नहीं आना चाहिए. That way.
I take my
That's just
bat,
a,
I go home.
yeah.
But coming to City, I think they've had a massive resurgence in form. And pata nahi, I don't know if you can call it the Ruben Diaz effect or if you can just call it City being City and doing what they're currently capable of doing according to their roster and their squad, the kind of players that they've had over the years, and I think they have finally managed to play Gundogan to the highest potential of his capabilities that he can play, because I think since he's come to
Yeah.
Manchester City, he's been having his best run of form in terms, not in terms of just being on the score sheet, he's been doing that too, but his influence in games, not being a victim of Pep roulette that often. So he's come to the more stable side,
Yeah.
and some players like Bernardo Silva have been moved to the more auxiliary positions. And as Anurag mentioned, Joao Cancelo has been brilliant. Ruben Diaz has been a rock at the back. So John Stones has also been an FPL god, as some people have been. So I think City are gonna keep doing what they're doing, and City are coming to those, they're coming to those times when they can be really scary. And I
Yeah.
won't be pleased to be playing Manchester City in the next 3-4 game weeks, at least
Yeah.
until they hit a blip or at least have a bad game.
Basically needs an Aladici masterclass versus City, right? That's
Yeah.
all you need for Pep to lose his shit, and or
Yeah.
maybe a shot. I Burnley, forget Burnley, always we fuck it up versus City. Pratnesh,
Yeah.
coming to you, is City going to be the club that ensures that Liverpool don't get to 20? Is it?
Manchester City's next games: Sheffield United at home, Burnley away, Liverpool at Anfield, Tottenham at the Etihad, Arsenal at the Emirates, West Ham at home, which is a tough one,
West Ham up fourth. Huge
West
shout
Ham
out
of
to West
fourth,
Ham. Won last night as well.
and
3-2 versus Palace away.
then United versus City. So
That's a tough run of form.
that's a tough
Tough
run
run
of
of games,
form.
sorry.
Yeah. On 6th of March, if City are anywhere close to 5 points of the Premier League, 5 points of the top of the Premier League, they could win the league. But
Easy.
So I'm
but
gonna tell you something. On 6th of March, City are gonna be 4 or 5 points clear of the Premier League, or 2 points clear with the game in hand. Trust me.
I feel City are going to be third at the end of the whole fiasco
Mm, I doubt it. I
because
Where are
think
United going to be, Prathamesh?
I don't know.
the only
Sleeping.
game
Give me some of that juju.
the only
No,
game
no,
that I
no, no,
see
no,
them
no.
dropping points would be against Tottenham. I think they're gonna smash Liverpool as well, because Liverpool won't be able to handle the amount of firepower that
Yeah, देखो, the thing is with Liverpool, I feel like however bad they are, it's very difficult to go and smash
Difficult. Yeah.
them
Yeah.
at Anfield.
not
Yeah,
really.
Pratnesh, so you're saying,
Plus,
yeah.
they have a Champions League game in between against Gladbach, which I think should be fine for them. But this is the phase which defines champions right now. This 1 month phase from the Sheffield United game this weekend to the 6th of March is going to define their season. Ruben Diaz and even for
John
that
Stones.
matter John Stones, I feel except for the United game, which was a real pathetic excuse for a derby in the Premier League. Uh, they haven't really been tested by such strong opposition which they're going to face now. So whether we see those defensive vulnerabilities now with the auxiliary left back in position, whether teams like Liverpool, who probably might not have their best players still, but cannot underestimate the threat of Salah, Mane, and Firmino. So there are a lot of questions that are going to be asked of them in the next 1 month, which is going to define probably if City, as Surak says, are at the top of the league after that 1 month, I think this would have been Pep Guardiola's most difficult ever hurdle in the Premier League in terms of a 1 month spell. And if he overcomes that, I don't see any other result than City winning the title. But this has been a crazy season, right? Like, anything is
Let's see.
happening in the Premier
Yeah.
League. So you can't really say anything for sure. Whether COVID hits any one of the teams again is a question mark.
Let's hope it doesn't. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So it's
it
it's
could.
it's it's a difficult one to predict right now, but the next 1 month for sure is going to be difficult for them. Starting from the Sheffield United game, which would be ironic because it will be the most Sheffield United thing and the most Manchester United thing ever. Because then Sheffield will be hammered 5 or 6 goals on the weekend, and then everybody will be like, "Oh, this was a team that just won at Old Trafford, right?" So apart from that, I
That
feel
is
they're going
exactly
to have
what's
a
gonna happen.
they are going to have a very tough 1 month. So I hope that City are already top of the league, Vijay. But if they are, they deserve it.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at amongst all of the teams, I think that point by Vijay is spot on. They're the only team who seem to have
Yeah.
started fixing their issues, if not fixed all of their issues. They're the only team who look like they have got levels to go up for, and that they can withstand any kind of a challenge, whether it's a possession based team or whether it's a strong physical team. So I think Man City are the clear favorites for this title at the moment, unless something tragic or something out of the world happens to them. I think that they should remain clear favorites till the end of the season. But that about sums it up for here, boys. For our viewers, guys, we'll have the Arsenal versus Manchester United preview up for you guys on Saturday. We'll try to have it up by midday so that you guys have 10 to 11 hours to get it out. Sit. Look at him. Yeah, yeah, of course. Sit. It's all sky blue everywhere right now. Thank you so much to Vijay, Sulaksh, Pratmesh, and Anurag for joining me here. This is Kushagra. Keep it locked to the Sports Join for all the coverage of the Premier League, the Champions League. I won't do the Europa League, but there will be Europa League coverage. I have been consistent about that fact that I am never covering that Thursday night good night
Still,
competition again. So you'll have different hosts for those Thursday night games or Thursday night
I
previews and
don't think
reviews and
so.
everything else. I'm not doing that. I'm genuinely not doing that.
Well,
I'm putting my foot down there. No more EL for me. But yeah, for everything around football, we'll start covering the domestic leagues. The other European Big Five leagues as well. We're planning a separate show around it. Maybe once in 2 weeks, we can come up with a European roundup of a podcast wherein we can have a word with the likes of Vijay, Sushil, who do follow the leagues all around, and Sulaksh and Pratmesh and Anurag as well, of course, who follow the leagues all over the world. And we'll try to bring that content to you. But in the meanwhile, do let us know what your predictions are for the weekend. And this is Niku Shagra. Massive thanks to all four of you guys. Do check out the Sports Coin, our website, our Insta, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. Do check us out. Do follow and spread the word around. Until then, we'll see you soon.